Okay, here we go. Chapter 2. The first lesson. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And that's Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. When I walked into AA, the first person I met was my sponsor. Reeking of joy and freedom, she hugged me. I was a dried up piece of sponge on my granny's sink, bereft of joy, reeking of shame and Canadian whiskey. My soul thirsted for what she had. I decided if I was ever going to live a wonderful life, I'd do whatever she said. I wanted what she had. She told me to give up, surrender to the idea that I was controlling my life. Obviously, what I was doing before hadn't worked, and I needed to admit I needed help. She then told me I'd have to get that help from a power greater than myself. I'd have to give everything to a God of my understanding. Well, crap. How could I when I hated everything the church was? God hadn't saved me. He wasn't there to rescue me when I needed it most. Because my dad had used his name in Scripture as a weapon, an excuse to torture and abuse his family, I held a huge grudge. I didn't want to open a Bible, go to church, even learn about him at all. How could I imagine something loving, kind, caring for my every need? How could I? I couldn't pray with any faith at all. Just thinking about the topic made my blood boil. But I was desperate. She was so joyful. Her energy soothed me. Her ideas and outlooks on life were gentle and kind. I wanted to be like her, have what she had. And because I'd ran my own life up till then, horribly, I tried to find a way to get there. I went the back way around. I decided that if there was a God, I could prove it by researching what was truly evil. We all grow up with these stories of the devil. Whatever religion or lack of it, we've all been exposed to the idea that there is an evil entity out there. It's in our culture, language, movies, TV, but as a joke, myth, fiction, not necessarily real. Something to laugh at uneasily and just move on with our busy lives like we hadn't just had our soul shudder at the idea. I dove deep. You should too. The universe has been scientifically proven to have positive and negative everything. There's a natural law that's been proven, everything, positive or negative. So I hit the dark side. I looked up exorcists first. Books by Father Gabriel Amorth, Padre Pio, Ed and Lorraine Warren, current working exorcists that are vocal, and what they've seen. YouTube and Amazon are a great place to start. The Conjuring movie series, Ralph Sarchi's experiences, book and movie, Deliver Us from Evil. Interviews, documentaries, even experienced ghost hunters. I looked at it all. I urge you to do this. Total eye-opener. Couldn't unsee what I was seeing. Couldn't unread. Couldn't laugh it off. Couldn't. I found an interview with Lorraine Warren that shook me. She was doing a red carpet event for one of the Conjuring movies, and a too happy journalist laughingly asked her, and I'm paraphrasing this, "Lorraine, if I was to meet up with a ghost in my house, what should I do?" His tone was light. He didn't understand at all. And Lorraine's face turned ferocious. She grabbed him by the arm with what looked like a death grip, her eyes 1,000 miles away like a soldier still in shell shock. I'd call out to the first documented successful exorcist, Jesus Christ, Son of the living God. Because I haven't seen any ghosts, but I've seen a lot of demons. Quoted from memory as I've looked for this interview, but weirdly can't find it anywhere. The man looked uncomfortable and the clip ended abruptly. I was shook, weirded out, and continued my research. Over this time, I was starting to get it. There was evil out there, real evil, and it wasn't a fairy tale to keep kids in line. One day I was watching a ghost hunter in an old theater going over his EVP stuff he'd gotten, and something blipped. He put it through some software and the words came out clearly. He is coming, and this will all be over. The guy looked confused, no understanding flashing across his face. He didn't know at all what that meant, but I did. It hit me like a ton of bricks. If you're a church kid, you know the return of Jesus Christ has been expecting has been prophesied forever. That we're supposed to be looking for him, waiting, expecting this to happen. But in the church, it's been repeated so much. And it has been so long since Jesus walked the earth that it's become like the boy who cried wolf too many times, and when the wolf came, no one was ready or believed it. Great slaughter ensues. This is the state of the church right now. And yeah, nobody's ready. The voice was mournful, scared, unsettling. My soul knew, and I asked myself, why was this spirit or was it a demon? Why was it saying this? It was scared. If an entity is scared of his return, what did that tell me? God is real. Jesus is real. Demons are real. Evil is real. And it's scared. He is coming, and this will all be over. To say I hit faith going 100 is putting it mildly. If Jesus was coming soon for real, I didn't know him. He didn't know me. And I was totally screwed. I opened my Bible for the first time in 35 years. The praying I'd been doing as a practice, the program told me to do, in order to hand over all my big bad emotions, worries and fears in order to not be pressurized into a drink, well, it became real to me. I'd been told by the program in order to stay sober. Even if I didn't believe in this wonderful, caring God, I'd have to unload on him anyways, as if he were a high-priced therapist that I was getting my money's worth out of. Now he became real to me, and I believed. Funny how it took me researching his enemies to believe he existed, but that's how I got to here, opening my Bible. A Bible I'd carried since the age of 16, given to me by my parents. I hated that Bible, because it represented everything my dad had been and hadn't been. Yet, I'd carried it from house to house, state to state for those 35 years. Have no idea why I never threw it away, lost it, or left behind. It just kept coming with me, and when I needed it most, it was here. I totally blame God for that. From front to back, I read it. It took me 3 months because of work schedule, life, etc. And when I'd finished, I realized I'd never known God. The church does not give you everything. It's poured through the lens of the pastor, the denomination, filtered, spoon-fed, washed of real meat, real info. Sermons are for edification. To make us feel good, keep giving, keeping butts in a pew in order to support whatever the church decides. Numbers go down, the church collapses, and nobody wants that, right? Don't make people feel uncomfortable, or the pastor won't get paid. That's the state of the church right now, and how it was when I was growing up. That Bible changed me completely. There was the me before reading it, and the me after, and they were two completely different people. It's like I'd been blind to the spiritual aspect of our reality. Until I read it, I just didn't know. I highly urge you, read the whole Bible, because it did something extremely supernatural to me. I began to see the spiritual effect of everything. Not in the, oh, I just saw a demon. Not in the, things are levitating around me, or dark shadows and corners type situation. I mean, check out ghost encounters that are demons. Check out TikTok vids that say ghost but are totally demons. Check out creepy videos on channels that specialize in those. These are totally demons. But the everyday situations that occur that I now had such a deep knowing that are spiritually based. This knowledge wasn't all at once either. I'll give you the rundown of what occurred to me. The first event, before I even read the Bible, having no faith at all at the time, just this practice of unloading so I didn't drink again. We're told in AA we have to make a list of people we had harmed and be willing to make amends to them. Apologies, payback, whatever was needed. Even if they didn't receive me kindly. No matter their reaction, I was just to do it. So I made the list. It wasn't short. I got sober at 48. That's a lot of time to hurt people. On that list, I had my family because, yeah, being drunk causes harm that unless you acknowledge it, apologize, and show someone you are changing, this harm can continue. The evil in them. It's a ripple effect, and I had created a wave pool with my actions. I went through the list, and quite a few of them I was able to do because I still thankfully had them in my life. But there were 2 on that list I had no idea where they were. Oh, goodness. I'm going to pause here because this is a long one.